You've had a conversation today that never actually happened. You rehearsed what you'd say to your boss. You replayed what you should have said to your friend. You imagined an entire argument, start to finish, with someone who has no idea it happened. And you won, probably. We all do this, constantly, but nobody talks about why. And the reason is stranger and darker than you think. Here's what's weird about it. These conversations feel real, your heart rate goes up, your jaw tightens. Sometimes you feel the satisfaction of finally saying the right thing. Sometimes you feel shame from 2 years ago flooding back in a conversation that is not happening with a person who isn't there. Your body doesn't know the difference between a real fight and an imagined one. It responds the same way to both. And that changes everything. Think about the last time you had one of these conversations. You weren't relaxed. You were in it, choosing words, reading their face, waiting for the moment to say the thing. That's not daydreaming. That's your brain running a full emotional rehearsal. Psychologists call it mental simulation, your mind's way of preparing for situations that feel unresolved. A conflict you haven't addressed, something you need to say, a moment you can't stop replaying. Your brain detects the unfinished thing, and it starts running the scenario over and over, like a wound that won't close. But here's what nobody tells you about this process. The simulation isn't written by a neutral part of you. It's written by the part that's already afraid, already hurt, already decided how it ends. So it almost never prepares you. It just loops the feeling until you believe the loop is reality. Pattern 1. You argue with people who agree with you. In your head, you make them say things they've never actually said. You construct the worst version of them. You give them the cruelest words, and then you destroy that version. Brilliantly, feels like clarity. It's not. It's a way of staying angry without giving them a chance to disappoint you or surprise you. Because in your head, they can't say something you didn't expect. They can't change your mind. The real conversation might. And that's the part that terrifies you. Pattern 2. You rehearse the conversation, but you never have it. You've practiced telling your friend the truth 50 times in your head. You know exactly what to say. You've imagined their reaction. You're ready. And yet, every time you see them, you say nothing. Why? Because the rehearsal already gave you the relief of saying it, without the risk, without the mess, without whatever comes after. In your head, they listen. They understand. They respond the way you need them to. The real one might cry, or laugh, or go quiet in a way you weren't prepared for. So you keep rehearsing, and nothing changes. Pattern 3. You keep replaying conversations you can't change. 3 years ago, you said the wrong thing. Everyone knows it. It's over. And yet, you're still in that kitchen, that office, that car, rewriting your lines. Editing an ending that has already happened. This isn't guilt. It's not nostalgia. This is your brain trying to close a loop it is not designed to leave open. Unresolved things feel like emergencies to the mind. So it keeps returning to fix them, even when nothing can be fixed. Even when the other person has moved on. Even when you have some things don't get resolved. And that is genuinely intolerable to the human mind. Pattern 4. The other person in your head is not them. You think you're imagining a conversation with your mother, your ex, your coworker. But you built that version with your fears, your assumptions, your guilt. The person you're talking to in your head says exactly what you're most afraid of hearing, or exactly what you desperately want to hear. Nothing in between. That's not them. That's you. You're not rehearsing for the other person. You're rehearsing for the part of yourself that judges you. The imaginary conversation is a trial. And you're the defendant, the prosecutor, and the judge, all at once. Let that sit for a second. Now, here's the part nobody expects. This is not a sign that something is wrong with you. Research actually shows that people who mentally simulate social scenarios tend to be more empathetic, more emotionally intelligent, better at understanding other people's perspectives. The ability itself is a gift, but when that same ability runs on anxiety instead of curiosity, it turns against you. It stops being a tool for connection. It becomes a tool for avoidance. The smarter you are about people, the more convincing your imaginary version of them becomes. And the easier is to never actually talk to them at all. You are so good at understanding people that you use it to avoid them. The gift becomes the cage. So here's the uncomfortable question. How many of your relationships right now exist mostly in your head? How many problems are you rehearsing instead of solving? How many people are you still fighting who have no idea? And the harder question, is the version of them in your head kinder or crueler than the real person? If crueler, you've turned someone into a threat they may not be. If kinder, you're avoiding the real conversation because the real person might disappoint you. Either way, the imaginary version is protecting you from something real. The question is, what are you so afraid of finding out? We tell ourselves we're preparing, that all this rehearsal is getting us ready for the real thing. But most of the time, it's the opposite. It's a way of staying in control in a world where real conversations can't be scripted. In your head, you know the ending. You control every word. Nobody surprises you. Out there, you don't, and that's the problem. The conversations that actually matter, the ones with the power to change something, they require you to let go of the script entirely. To say something real, in real time, to a real person who might respond in ways you never planned for. That is terrifying. That is also the only version that counts. Your brain will keep running the simulation. The only question is whether you'll ever step out of the rehearsal room and into the actual room. Most people won't,